This meeting is now being recorded, and all votes will be roll call votes. And we'll take a moment of appreciation for our troops serving around the world in defense of our nation. All right, thank you. We'll begin with the resumption of the public hearing that began on Tuesday, June 1st, concerning the removal of Peter Diamond as Inspector of Wires for the town of Medfield. The board had concluded the hearing on Tuesday, but deferred a decision on the remedy for the findings that we had made to give the town and Mr. Diamond an opportunity to see if there was an agreement that could be reached to permit his continued employment in the town and clarify the issues that led us to the hearing. And I'll ask Christine to promote Mr. Diamond and counsel for the town, if she would. All right, and just noting for the record that counsel for the town, Antoine Fares and Mr. Diamond have now joined the meeting. As I noted, the purpose of the continuation of the hearing from Tuesday to tonight was to give the town and Mr. Diamond an opportunity to see if there was a way to reach an agreement and accommodation for Mr. Diamond to continue as Inspector of Wires. Mr. Fares, can you report on the results of that effort, please?
Yes, upon the request of the town administrator and the building commissioner to try to resolve this matter, I reached out to Attorney Casey, who represents Mr. Diamond in this matter, in an effort to resolve this. And in that effort, we sent Mr. Diamond a letter which included the conditions of continued employment that would be necessary for him to sign, and that the letter included what was satisfactory to the town administrator and the building commissioner to have Mr. Diamond remain employed with the town and not recommend his removal to the board. So in that attempt, I heard back from Attorney Casey, and he advised that Mr. Diamond is not willing to sign any letter from any letter to try to resolve this matter. And and I made it clear, and I memorialized that discussion with Attorney Casey. And I believe, Mr. Chairman, you should have those emails that I sent, that I forwarded Mr. Attorney Casey. So that's where we are with this. And therefore, the town administrator and the building commissioner would recommend moving forward with the rule.
Thank you. And Mr. Diamond, do you agree that you did not sign a letter with the town?
I have prepared a statement here, if you would allow me to read this.
Well, before your statement, can you confirm that you did not reach an agreement with the town as requested?
Chairman, I received this proposal late afternoon yesterday. I was out last evening, and I really didn't have time to consider it. He wanted a response by noon today, and I prepared a statement here to reflect my review of what was sent me.
Well, I mean, Mr. Diamond, respectfully, the request from the board was to see if there was a resolution that could be reached between Tuesday and today. That was the request, and you understood that was the request after Tuesday, correct?
And I have a statement with regard to that resolution, sir.
Well, I mean, I will let you read your statement, but I think the time to negotiate a resolution was before this meeting. You can read your statement.
Thank you. Following the Board of Selectmen hearing on June 1st, I have taken time to reflect on the situation. Taking into consideration the comments, questions, and perspective of the board, and having done some soul searching, I can now see how my correspondence to the commissioner was interpreted. I can see that my passion caused the blind spot on how my words were being interpreted and received. Please know that I meant no disrespect or insubordination. I was trying to seek better compensation. In hindsight, I regret this situation escalated to this point. I have received the offer for continued employment. I know this decision was made with input from all involved parties, and that I can tell you an offer of continued employment was unexpected. I want to say how much I appreciate that offer and the vote of confidence from you all. I am proud of my 16 years of service to the town of Medfield, and I value the acknowledgement of my contributions that were voiced during the meeting Tuesday. Thank you. With that being said, I have decided to resign from my position as Inspector of Wires for the town of Medfield. To the citizens of Medfield, Medfield is a beautiful little town that I have enjoyed working in. There is only one Medfield in the world. The people are friendly, and I have enjoyed conversation with many of you during my inspections. I have done my best to perform my appointed position as Inspector of Wires to enforce the Massachusetts Electric Code and the laws and regulations pertaining to my position. In doing so, it was my responsibility to ensure the people and property in Medfield were safe from the hazards that may arise from the use of electricity. To Heidi Tripp and Chris Potts, I want to thank you for your words of encouragement this week. And also, as I stated in the hearing on June 1st, working on the Johnson Extreme Home Makeover was a highlight of my life. May your fight against SMA continue to be successful. Walk for William tomorrow at 9:30. To my predecessor, Jim Leonard, I want to thank you for your years of support and guidance and your undying confidence in my ability to do my job. I learned much from you, and I want to thank you for always having my back. I want to recognize your 33 years of service to the town of Medfield here tonight. I want to thank my sister Tricia for her support during many trying times in my life. I want to thank my girlfriend Deirdre for putting up with me over the last 2 weeks. And finally, I want to thank my mother and father who instilled in me to always do the right thing. A formal letter of resignation will be forthcoming. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond.
Welcome.
Peter, Gus, any questions or comments? Pete? Pete, any questions or comments?
Hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, if you get close to the microphone, I think we can hear you.
I was just wishing Mr. Diamond good luck. I had no other thoughts than that.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
Gus?
I would echo Pete's best wishes for you, Mr. Diamond. I also thank you for the years that you have served the town. Sometimes situations come up like this where, you know, nobody intended it, nobody, you know, wanted it. And there are times when the most gracious and I guess the best way out of it is a path along what you're planning to do. So I appreciate your comments, appreciate your planned actions here. And as Pete said, wish you all the best.
Thank you, Selectman Murby.
Yep. And Mr. Diamond, I will concur with Gus and with Pete, and thank you for your time of service to the town. And I think it's unfortunate that it kind of ended in this way and had to end in a public forum like this. But that's how it happens sometimes when you're in public life, I guess. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your comments. And I wish you continued success in your other endeavors and your service to the town of Norfolk and elsewhere. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think, do we need a formal motion from the clerk to accept the resignation as offered?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I move that we accept Mr. Diamond's resignation as a inspector wiring as offered in Mr. Diamond's statement.
I think that was a second from Pete. I couldn't hear it, but
Mr. Marcucci,
aye.
Mr. Peterson.
I think that was a yes from Pete.
Reading Mr. Peterson's lips here, you're still not coming through, Pete, but I did see, I believe, an aye or a yes. And yes, and I got a thumbs up to confirm that, and Mr. Murby, aye.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Diamond, and thank you, Mr. Ferris. I think this concludes the hearing. And the record of the hearing is now closed. I think in light of Mr. Diamond's resignation, I don't think there's any need to issue a decision or findings of fact coming out of the hearing, unless Christine or Antoine thinks otherwise.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll accept the resignation.
we've accepted the resignation. Now, there's just the second item is something that came in this week and we added to the agenda, which was a request to approve a request for a street closure of Hickory Drive from Harding Street to Farm Street on Friday, June 11th, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for a block party.
It's been reviewed by the police chief and Mo, and everybody was fine with it.
Pete, any questions? Gus, any questions?
Just an observation that I live so close to Hickory Drive, I'm wondering who it is that's planning on throwing the party, but no questions.
I'm sure your invitation is in the mail.
I don't know, that wasn't a connotation for an invitation, but
We have a motion.
So motion, move that we approve the request for street closure of Hickory Drive from Harding Street to Farm Street on Friday, June 11th, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for a block party.
Looks like a second
And
from
I see
Mr. Peterson.
second from Mr. Peterson. Mr. Marcucci.
Aye.
Yeah. Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. The yes came through on that one. Mr. Murby, aye.
All right. I think the only other item would be a motion to adjourn.
I move that we I move that we adjourn our meeting.
I couldn't hear you guys, but I think you said to adjourn, so I'll second that.
I move that we adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Marcucci,
Aye.
Mr. Peterson,
yes.
and Mr. Murby, yes.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Christine.
Everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.